Hey there folks, John here with Through My Lens, and today I'm coming to you with another knife review. This time we're going to be looking at the Zero Tolerance ZT0095 S90V BLK. That sure is a mouthful, but this is essentially the version of the ZT0095 that has a DLC coating applied to it, and it has an S90V blade steel. Now, this video is going to be a supplement to the written photo review of this knife that can be found on Through My Lens. And you can find a link to that video in the description box down below here on YouTube in the video description box. And that written photo review is going to have lots of great photos of this knife, but it'll also have lots of details and specifications that I'm not going to be talking about here in this video. This video really, again, is just a supplement to get some footage out there for the community. So I have to admit, I normally don't go in for knives that have coatings. I normally just like, a straight uncoated knife. Good example of that, would be the ZT0562 here. One of my favorite knives that I carry a lot and use a lot, but it's just got a standard blade, no coatings on the handle scales. This knife has a diamond-like coating or a DLC coating applied to the blade as well as to the handle scales, front and back. And again, normally I don't go for this, but for whatever reason on this knife it looks really, really cool. Now, if you've seen my video on one of the other versions of the ZT0095 that I own, here's the other version that I own. This is the Russian market exclusive ZT0095 S35VN. You'll know that this knife is a sprint run that has been released in just the last couple months, but in the last couple of years there have been several different versions of the ZT0095. The most probably prevalent version that's out there is the blackwash version. That's actually the only version you'll find on the ZT website right now. For whatever reason, they don't have this knife listed with their sprint runs, maybe because it's too new. But I was thinking about getting the blackwash because there was a lot of things about this knife that I liked, but then I found out this version was out there and it just looks really cool. I do like the black look to it. I like the fact that it's got an S90V blade, S90V CPM S90V blade steel. This will be my first experience with that particular blade steel. Probably my most favorite blade steel of the knives that I've had in the past is Böhler M390. And apparently the wear resistance on S90 from the research that I've done is even a step above Böhler M390. So that's good. I bought this because I do intend to use it. I like the ergonomics on the 0095. I like the thin blade stock. It's a good slicer, good utility, and I think it makes a good defensive knife. And even though it's titanium on both sides, it's not so heavy that you don't want to carry it. So I think it's a great EDC knife that can be used for a lot of different tasks and purposes. But I'm probably not going to do a lot of cutting with this Russian market exclusive, very rare version of the ZT0095. I'll probably carry it, but I'm not probably going to do a lot of cutting with it. So I did want a version of the knife that I wasn't afraid to use, and this one was less, obviously less expensive than the one I had shipped here from Russia, and it's going to be one that's going to get used quite a bit. The DLC coating should help make the knife, look like it's not been beat to death, even if it's used pretty consistently. So that's a big plus. And again, I really like some of the contrasts, like the pivot with the alternating, black and silver colors with the black on the handle and the blade. Even though this is the standard zero tolerance pocket clip, Um, it looks really nice. I think it's also got the DLC coating, and it just looks really nice on this knife. It's not a real fancy pocket clip, but I like it on this knife, probably more than I like it on some other knives. And of course, being a zero tolerance, they've put all of their nicest features that they've been putting on a lot of their knives in the recent years, such as the KVT ball bearing system here. Now, normally, I have to say in the last couple of years, about every knife that I've gotten from Zero Tolerance has been a fantastic flipper. This one, I don't think they got the detent quite right, and I'm sure that it's probably just this particular knife. For whatever reason, this particular knife, the detent isn't quite as good, but it doesn't want to come out as readily. I think the detent just wasn't cut as deeply as it needs to. You have to put a little bit more effort into it. It flips fine with a little wrist action. It'll come out pretty hard. I'm thought about maybe sending it back to Zero Tolerance and asking them to see if they can do something with the detent, but it's not that bad. I would say that any other 0095 S90V BLK that you buy would probably be okay. This one just, for whatever reason, the detent is not perfect on it. There are some other subtle differences between this knife and some of the other versions of the 0095. I don't know if the Blackwash version has this, but this one has some little grind lines in the facets of the handle scales. I don't know that there's a good functional reason. It's not like it improves your grip a whole lot, but visually it's interesting. It kind of helps to break up that all black that monochromatic, just kind of gives a little visual detail there. This has got the same exact blade shape, but because it has that DLC coating, you lose some of the faceted grinds that are in the blade that you can see more readily in the other version. Again, that black coating, you have to look more closely to see that those grinds are there. So it looks neat, but I'm glad I have this version which shows the grind of the knife a little bit more readily. But again, for a user, I think this knife, the Sprint Run version, is pretty fantastic. I like the ergonomics of the 0095. It locks in hand very nicely, even though it's titanium on both sides. Because of the curvature of the handle, you can just hang on to it. It's not going to be slick, and your thumb comes to rest very easily on the thumb ramp. And you can do a lot of finely detailed cutting, hard use cutting, or if need be, I would have no issues whatsoever using this and for defensive purposes. What else? Again, this is a Sprint Run version that seems to suggest that it will be produced in lower numbers than, say, the Blackwash version, which apparently appears to be the normal production version of the ZT0095. So if you like it, maybe don't hesitate to run out there and get it. Because maybe the Sprint Run version isn't going to be produced in as large numbers. One of the other features that it has that's interesting is, hopefully you can see this on the video, that has a anodized green backspacer here. And again, for this only another plus for actually using this knife, it's going to be very easy to clean and maintain. There's only two screws, this screw and the pivot, that you need to remove to be able to clean out the knife and lubricate it. So it's got a nice flow-through design, easy to disassemble and clean, and that blade steel is going to hold an edge a long time. I look forward to using it and getting to know S90V a little bit better. So there you have it. There's the ZT0095 S90V BLK. 2 thumbs up. Great job, Zero Tolerance. Highly recommend this knife. Hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. God bless. We'll see you in the next video.